Today, on today's Moxi Monday, we're talking a little bit about your domain, having a custom domain for your Moxi site. So this is one of the, whenever we do our Moxi 101 classes, it's one of the first things we go over, but it is something I still get a lot of questions about because a lot of us either have domains, and by the way, when we're talking about domains, we're talking about a web address. So jdwaldvogel.com. Something like that, yourwestmichiganrealtor.com or agent.com, an address that sends people to your website. Now, the reason that this has been coming up a lot is because a lot of people have domains that they currently have directed at another place, maybe their Zap website, maybe a previous website, and you want to point them to Moxi because it's on all of your marketing. It's on all of your business cards, email signatures, and the good news is that it's very easy to just kind of redirect it to your new Moxi site. And then, of course, a lot of people, when we've got new people coming on, new agents, or someone who's maybe you're really only focusing on your website for the first time and you want to get a domain for the first time, that's another way it's been coming up, is people deciding, hey, I actually want a custom domain. Now, a custom domain is not a necessity. It is not a requirement. Nobody has to do it. But people do like to have them because they just look a little prettier. They're nicer on the market on marketing material, marketing collateral, and it kind of is another great way to brand yourself. So if we go to my Moxi website right now, I know it's going to be a little bit smaller on your guys' screen than mine, of course, but my web address up here is jd-waldvogel.cbgreatlakes.com. And in Ohio, it would be CB Schmidt, Ohio. And in Florida, it would be cbfloridahomes.com. So those are the domains given to us by Moxi. Those are the ones that you get, kind of for free, complimentary, however you want to look at it. Some people love to use those. They think it's pretty clear cut and it's good to go. That's great. That's totally awesome. If you want to use a custom domain, you have to purchase one from a third-party company. Now, I'm going to show you my favorite company, the best way to do it. It's not one that you have to do. You don't have to work with GoDaddy. In my experience, it's just one of the easier platforms. So I want to walk you through how to purchase a domain and then how to connect it to your Moxi site. But before we do that, there's one thing in Moxi that I always recommend having done before you connect a domain, and that is making sure your website has the SSL, and we're going to walk through this, your SSL security certificate in place. It's a very quick process. I'm going to walk through it, but it's just a little bit easier to connect the domain for Moxi if you have this done already. So as you can tell right now, I'm just logged into Moxi, my.schmidtresources.com. I'm going to click on website right across the top up here, my website, and it's going to bring me to the back end of my Moxi website. So the first thing I want to talk about, like I said, is that SSL certificate. Right here to the common tasks. I always tell people, these common tasks are here for a reason. The very bottom common task, apply an SSL cert. So the very last one, apply an SSL cert, we're going to click go there. So we went to my website. Under common tasks, we're going to the very bottom one. Go there. Now, mine's already set up, and if yours is set up, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see 2 green check marks, and you're good to go. If yours is not set up, you're going to see something that looks a little more like this. You're going to have a red X that says SSL is not enabled yet. What you want to do here is simply click that big blue button that says go ahead, activate SSL, and that's it. I mean, that's literally it. That's all you have to do to activate your SSL. It may sign you out. You may need to log in again. It may take about 24 hours to show up, but all you have to do is go into your site. I'll walk you through it one more time. So we clicked on from roster, we're on the Moxi page here. We clicked on my website. From my website, under the common tasks, we clicked on apply an SSL cert. And then if you got 2 green check marks, you're good to go. If you've got, where did it go? A red X, all you want to do is click that big blue button, and then you're good to go. That's it. So it's a big security setting. It helps people who are filling out information on your website. It's a security part that is very much a kind of a necessity best practice when setting your site up. So now I want to talk about domains. So the one that I always remember is if I go to Traverse City, I believe it is, TraverseCityHomeTeam.com. This is a team we have up in Traverse City, Michigan, and you can see their site here. This is their Moxi site, but the URL that we took to get here is TraverseCityHomeTeam.com. They bought that domain from a third party, I'm pretty sure GoDaddy, and then they connected it to Moxi, which is what we're going to do now. So, my favorite vendor to buy domains from is GoDaddy. GoDaddy.com. There are other ones out there. I have personally found them a little less user-friendly. There is a vendor that Moxi works directly with that I did not love using it, so I like to use GoDaddy. So, excuse me. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to find the domain that we want. Now, as I'm sure you're familiar with, only one person can have any domain. So the first step is finding one that's available that you want to use. Now, Waldvogel is a pretty unique last name. So I bet you that if I try to search for JD Waldvogel, whoops, if I spell my name right, jdwaldvogel.com, it's going to be available. And sure enough, there it is. Your domain is available, jdwaldvogel.com. It is about $12 a year for a domain. I think maybe that's the first year, and then it might go up to $20 a year. That's it, though. So you are purchasing these things, but they're not huge monthly fees. It's literally $1 a month for that first month. So jdwaldvogel.com is available. Some people like to try to do more localized domains. So, for example, Holland, Michigan. Maybe I'll do HollandMIRealestate.com. Unsurprisingly, that is taken. They give me some other examples down here, things that are close, but most of the time you don't want, you're not going to use those. I could try Holland, Michigan real estate, but that's almost certainly taken too. So because of how long the internet has been around, a lot of those more general ones, or things that include locations, are going to be taken. Now, you could sit here all day long and try to find the domain you want. That's totally up to you. It's about what you are looking for. My recommendations are twofold. Number one, don't try to get too fancy. Don't try to, don't be so dead set on getting the word Michigan or Holland in there that you end up with some really long, Holland, Michigan local real estate professionals. Let me see if that's available. Professionals.com. So, is that available? Yeah, it is. Is that a good domain? That's pretty long. That's going to be hard to remember, and it's not going to fit well on things. So I wouldn't recommend always trying to get a certain keyword in there. Most of the time, your name is going to be the easiest. jdwaldvogel.com is such an easy thing to, Waldvogel, of course, is hard to say, but it's so much easier and cleaner than a whole long thing with a bunch of words to try to get a certain couple keywords in there. So number one, try to keep it simple. And number two, I would always, and I'm sure there are exceptions to this rule, but because of branding, because of the way our consumers work, I would always go for a .com. Now, if you go down here, you can see they're going to try to offer you other versions. I could do .net, .org, .shop, .life, .us, all these different versions here. Consumers and your clients and your sphere very rarely remember those things. Even something like jdwaldvogel.me or .live, people do not remember those things very well. And so it might look cool, and you might think it's kind of cool, and maybe I get like, jdwaldvogel.com.serv or jdwaldvogel.services or jdwaldvogel.pro, because I'm like, hey, I'm a pro realtor, right? Like, that's what I'm trying to do. People are going to go, oh, cool, yeah, his website was jdwaldvogel.com. And they're going to go right to the .com and not to the one that you actually purchased. So I would highly recommend doing something simple, it's not too long, and I'd also recommend doing a .com. But again, it's always going to be your choice. So you're going to add it to the cart. You would check out with GoDaddy. If you don't have an account with them, you will need to make an account with them, but it's pretty straightforward. You can see right here that you can register your domain for up to 10 years up front. So basically, you can say, I just want to pay it for a year, and it's $8 for the first year, which is pretty cheap. You can do it for 2 years, you can do it for 3, 4, 5, however many years you want to do it up front. And that's going to be your domain for at least those 2 or 3 years. So long term, right? What happens long term? Let's say at the closing, renews in in June 2023. And I got one this morning for one of our company domains. In April and May, you're going to start getting emails that are saying, hey, your domain is going to expire soon. You want to make sure that you renew it if you want to do that. So they will give you plenty of notice, and you simply go in and you renew it, and then it's yours again. If you do not renew the domain, it kind of goes back out into the public, and other people are going to be able to purchase it. Now, is somebody going to be rushing out there to buy jdwaldvogel.com? I doubt it. I hope not. So it's probably a safe bet, but I always recommend, like I've said, just always try to renew your domain so that it's never an issue long term. And then when you can see here when you try to check out, they try to give you these other plans. Hey, you can get a website, you can get marketing and email. You don't need these things right now. What we're doing for Moxi, we're just getting the domain. We just want this address right here. So you're going to check out. You're going to have your domains. You're good to go. Great. Now that you've gotten your domain, what is the next step? What we want to do is we want to go into Moxi again. So we're back here at our Moxi page, and we're going to click on My Website once again. We're going to wait for this to load. Once it's loaded, we're going to look down here. Underneath the common tasks, there's something that says completing your site activation. Now, for what we're going to do here, we're going to go to step number 2. Set up a vanity domain. And we're going to click Go there. So, they give you a step 1 and a step 2. It's very simple. However, I don't want you guys to worry about step 1. And it even says that. Do you have a vanity domain? Skip straight to step 2. So like I said, they have a vendor that they work with, and you could purchase a domain here. I'm not a big fan of it. It's a little less user friendly, a little more complicated. I don't like it as much. So that's that for not Moxi, but GoDaddy gives you a bit of a discount that first year. So just my recommendation to use GoDaddy, but again, like I keep saying, it's absolutely up to you. So all you want to do is you want to skip step 1 and go straight to step 2, which is contact support. So I'm just going to read their little message here. MoxiWorks tech support must perform a crucial step to ensure your site remains functional. Fill out this form before adding any further domain information to this page. You will be contacted by tech support with a link in the next days to complete the process. So all we do is we click on this form and we fill it out. Pretty straightforward here. You put your name. So the website owner would be your name. The brokerage name would be, you could do Schmidt Family of Companies. You could do Coldwell Banker Sunstar. It's all going to make sense to the Moxi team. So you could do your local DBA, or you could do just Schmidt Family of Companies. The best email to get in touch with you, because they are going to reach out with us some information. Domain to be redirected. So what is the domain that you're using? So, in the example we've been using, I would say jdwaldvogel.com. Who hosts your domain? You can see GoDaddy, Gmail, Network Solutions, other, like I said, there's other vendors. And then finally, is there a custom email address associated with the domain? So if you follow the steps that we've just gone through, the answer is going to be no. Some of our agents, of course, you guys have your own email. So it would be like, jd@jdwaldvogel.com. So now you're using that domain for emails as well. So, marketingassistant@jdwaldvogel.com. If you have that, you want to click yes, but we do not with these steps that we're following, we just click no. So again, we're filling out our name, the brokerage name, which would be Schmidt Family of Companies or Coldwell Banker, AJS Schmidt or Coldwell Banker Schmidt Realty, the best email address to reach you, your domain, the host, which is GoDaddy, and then is there a custom email? You click submit, and then normally, most of the time it's been within a day or so, they are going to reach back out to you with one email and a couple quick things that they need you to do. So they're going to give you a couple instructions to go into your GoDaddy account and change a couple little steps. And that's it. And then your domain's connected. So I've got this link here. If you go to the support page, the Moxi support page, and you literally type in the word domain, you're going to get you'll get a direct link to that form, basically. So you can always go through Moxi, but the support page also has the form right there. And then you just click that, and then it's like, hey, fill out this form. Guess what? And there it is. So, and that's really it, guys. And then you wait for them to reach back out. You follow their couple quick instructions, and then you've got your personal custom domain sending people to your Moxi site. Now, like I said, if you're purchasing one for the first time, these steps work. If you've got, the most common one I've seen recently is, hey, JD, I've got my custom domain that's pointed to my Zap site, but I want to redirect it to my Moxi site. What do I have to do? You follow these steps. Nothing, the only thing that you would do differently than what we've gone over is you wouldn't purchase a domain because you already own that domain. But if you have it directed at Zap or another site right now, you would still go through the exact same steps. So you would go to my website. You wait for that to load. You go down to set up a vanity domain. Right there under completing your site activation. Click go there. And then from here, you're going to skip step 1, remember, because you don't need to purchase one. You already have one. So go to step 2, which is contact support, and then you fill out that little form there for the team.